All right, ready? All right, three, two. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Asad Hashmali, back with another episode of Behind the Grind. And this time, we have someone who's very special, very interesting profile as well, and part of a very, very cool startup in Pakistan. The startup's name is Abhi, and we're going to get into that in more detail as well. Today's guest, Wajiha Majid.
Majid.
Majid. I was right. Everyone thought when they were writing your name behind, they thought it was Majid. And I was like, I think it's Majid, but we'll find out. But Wajihas, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. I'm very happy to be here.
Lovely, lovely. So Wajihas, tell me a little bit about yourself, because when I had reached out to Abhi, I reached out to Umair. I saw him in another podcast as well, and I was just blown away. I've been seeing the work you guys are doing, so kudos to the entire team. But then when you reached out and said that, we've gotten your request for the podcast, I saw you on LinkedIn, and I saw that you're still in IBA
Yeah.
and you're their assistant marketing manager.
Yep.
You've been with them as a growth intern, who then went on as a marketing exec and now as a marketing manager, assistant marketing manager. And you also did the Venture for Pakistan internship.
Yes.
Walk me through what you've been up to while you were in university, while you are in university, because I find that also very cool. And especially with all the hoo-ha around the startup space, it's good to see people are taking advantage of the opportunities around them. So how has it been? What was your story like?
Okay, so it's been a very interesting story, a very hustling story, I must say. I joined Abhi through Venture for Pakistan back in, I think, June 2021. So
Okay.
Abhi did not officially launch.
Yeah.
We started operations in July 21.
Yeah.
So I joined as a growth and strategy intern through Venture for Pakistan. So I was in their summer cohort. So hota kya hai ki they take applications, they shortlist people from undergraduate, and then they place them in different startups.
Right, right.
So I was placed with Abhi, and by that, at that time, there was nothing about Abhi on social media. And when I got placed, I was like, yaar, kya scene hai? Matlab, when I was searching Abhi on Google, all that came up was Abhinandan from India.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, do I actually want to do this? Matlab, I do not know anything
ये
about
कौन है
this.
ये?
Exactly. तो मतलब कोई सीन ही नहीं था ना अभी
Yeah.
का उसका वेबसाइट भी कुछ there was nothing, no digital
Yeah,
footprint.
yeah, yeah.
I joined in. I was like, chalo, let's give it a try, because I was free those summers. It was my third year when I joined. So third year khatam hua tha, and there was summers, and then I had to start my fourth year in August. So uske baad फिर I joined. Fazil took my interview there. He was like, hey, come on from Monday. I got placed on Friday. Monday was my first day. I was like, I did not have any buffer time, but I was like, let's give it a try. So I joined as an intern, given a project on the first day. You have to set up the entire TikTok of Abhi. And behind the reason behind setting up a TikTok was to actually create a financial hub kind of a thing. जिसमें we start from basics in educating the masses. So for example, how to open a bank account. लोगों को नहीं पता होता बैंक अकाउंट कैसे खोलना है, ATM कैसे यूज़ करना है, बिल्कुल बेसिक से हम लोग.
So very educational.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So very educational type of a financial hub series that we tried to create. तो उसकी पूरी scripting, content creation, content strategy, everything was given to me, and I felt really it was a big responsibility on my shoulders. Here I took it. I loved making videos. I was not familiar with TikTok, but I embraced it, because I feel like TikTok is again very Gen Z.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought pehle कि it was something that was not meant for me, but yeah, I embraced it and I really loved it. And using it for a cause,
Yeah.
that was the thing that attracted me, and I pursued it. So I
Awesome.
started off, but unfortunately TikTok got banned in a couple of months, so we stopped that, and then we moved on. So in this duration, Omer and everybody else really loved my work, and my semester was going to start. So I was like, should I continue? But then Omer offered me a part-time position in the company. She was like,
Nice.
he was like, hey, I really love your work. We would love if you could come on board with us. And then I agreed to it, because I love the place, I love the people, I love the working style, and the
Yeah.
how things go about there. So I agreed, and then I stayed part-time, and then I got 2 promotions in that. So I'm now at assistant manager marketing, and yeah, it's been a good ride
Great.
since then.
Awesome. I'm sure tons of learning, tons of personal development also.
Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. hashtag startup life.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely crazy. हर दूसरे minute something's coming up, you need to catch up.
Yeah.
So like a lot of hustle.
Great. Awesome. So tell me about Abhi. What is it? What's the story? Like I personally know, but this is a different audience from compared to
Absolutely.
other areas that Abhi is marketing on right now and has been on. Tell me a little bit about the startup. What are you guys doing?
So Abhi is basically financial freedom platform. So yeah, we are the first ones to exist in Pakistan. We are an earned wage access. We give earned wage access. Ab earned wage access kya hoti hai? Let me give you the simplest example of all. For example, you work 30 days a month. Say you earn 30,000 rupees a month.
Yeah.
30 दिन होते हैं महीने में. हर दिन technically you earn 1,000 rupees.
So you could claim that.
Yep. But you don't get 1,000 rupees instantly. What Abhi does is, Abhi partners with your employers, then they let you access. For example, by the 15th, you need urgently money, but instead of asking to other people, you could just take out that 50% of 50,000, that is 7,500. That is your own earned money, and you can take it out from Abhi's app, or you can, from the Abhi app, you can transfer it to your bank account under 30 seconds.
Sweet.
That is, we just give you access to your own earned salary.
And are there any charges on this as well when you for the employee who's availing this benefit? Is there a charge on their side? Is there a charge on the company side? How does it work?
So it's free of cost for the employers. There's no registration, no signing up fees. It's completely free, completely hassle free for the HR as well. We just charge a one-time transaction fee from the employee whenever they're transacting. So there are no hidden charges, no subscription fee, etc., etc. Just whenever they transact, they have to give a 2% fee. So अगर 1,000 रुपए निकाल रहे हैं तो 20 रुपए उस पे आपको एक one-time transaction fee देनी पड़ती है.
Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so it's 2% for every transaction.
For every transaction.
Okay, all right, interesting, cool. That's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah.
पैसे अभी चाहिए तो फिर आप सह लें.
Definitely.
But great, because the value proposition has got me to think about that there's so many opportunities, especially those that are unbanked but are also working at some of these companies. They have some kind of transaction mechanism, and this is a good alternative for them. But have you guys seen that so far? Like, has that been a challenge in any way that employees of the businesses you work with don't have bank accounts or have cash salaries or something? Does this still apply to them, or is this the employee also has to have a bank account and the employer also has to be, completely set in that regard?
Yeah, so we work on bank account basis. Right now, at this point of time, we do not take cash, we do not take transaction based on cash. We support digitalization of the entire, we support in digitalization in general. So we try to bring them on their payroll services online so that we can offer them the Abhi service, and then they also can, move to an online setting. So right now, no cash basis transactions. It's also operationally, impossible to manage and, look after so many things at the same time.
Exactly. But right now you guys have like 100 plus companies on the list. Yeah. That's amazing. And it's been July 21, I think, is when it went live.
Almost 7 months.
Damn.
Kind of.
Wow. And I remember hearing on Muzammil's podcast that June closing was $7,500 worth of transactions, and this December closing was $4,500 in June, and then December closing was $7.5 million worth.
It's going upwards.
I'm sure. Yeah. So how has it been? And because you work on the marketing side, how has it been? How have you guys built awareness around this?
Okay, so it's been very difficult, to be honest, because this is fairly a new concept. Although in abroad it's very common, earned wage access, but in Pakistan we've faced challenge because again it's very tricky. When we're marketing mass, we're just building awareness around the brand. We're not offering them the brand unless their employers sign us up. So this comes into play. We usually do communication around aspects of earned wage access. What is earned wage access? How can you it is your right to access your salary. We try to promote it through our social media, try to do DVCs around it, and then portray use cases in which Abhi can be used. But our main target audience is the employers only at this point of time. We're not looking for random employees जिसके employees हमारे साथ signed up नहीं हैं. So this comes into play. But yeah, we are trying to create that awareness in the Pakistani audience that there is something like EWA and people can actually use it.
But then when a business, for example, I don't know any of the clients that you guys have, but let's assume that my company comes on and you are coming to me and saying that, this is what we do. This is a service that you could provide. This is a benefit that you could provide to your team members. and I say to you, but I have no problem in giving them advances or even loans for that matter, or short-term loans, how do you manage to convince? Because I'm sure the bigger the bandwidth, like I'm a small business, but the bigger the company size, the more perks that are already in place for employees as well, at all stages, at all levels of the organization. So what is it that actually gets your foot into the door and, you know, keeps it there with these businesses? That's what I'm trying to understand.
So number one is the instant transaction. So whatever processes or whatever things that you already have in place, at least 2 to 3 days on multiple approvals do take time, and it's a lot of hassle. Secondly, the integrity of the employee. So हर दफ़ा किसी के साथ आप हर दफ़ा आप अपनी HR के पास अगर आपको 5 दफ़ा पैसे चाहिए, एडवांस चाहिए, सैलरी में से पैसे चाहिए, you never go to the employer and ask कि यार मेरे घर में राशन ख़त्म हो गया, for example. It hurts the integrity. Pakistani people are खुद मुख्तार, तो वो अपने प्रॉब्लम्स डिस्कस करने में हमेशा हेजिडेंट होता है. दे नेवर ट्राई टू, आपको पता नहीं होता कि आपकी कंपनी में कितने ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको ये सहूलत चाहिए, बट दे नेवर एडमिट इट. एंड वंस वी आर ऑन बोर्ड, दे हैव बीन यूज केसेस, वंस वी आर ऑन बोर्डेड ऑन द कंपनी, वो कहते हैं नहीं हमें ज़रूरत नहीं है, nobody asks for advances and stuff. But once we are with them, there have been a lot of transactions from their employees who first claim to be refusing, no, we do not want this service. So it's the confidentiality of the employee that comes into play. They do not have to ask for anyone, it just happens, and then the amount that they've transacted, it automatically gets deducted from the next month's payroll. So that's the entire process. That's very convenient for them as well. कोई भी इमरजेंसी हुई कभी भी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेडिकल इमरजेंसी होगी रात के 3 बजे, दे कैन नॉट कम टू एंड कॉल यू, आई वांट 5,000 rupees urgently. But Abhi, you can do it like within 30 seconds, no problem.
But then what's the benefit to the business that you provide? Like,
a lot of people ask this question. So it's like health benefits. Whenever you ask your employer what type of benefits do you give, आप अपने employees को health insurance देते हैं, car, whatever, fuel, transportation. These are the type of benefits. Abhi is also an added benefit. So after, whenever an employee comes, what type of benefits do you offer? Earned wage access is a big benefit that employers should opt for. And
so it's good to have that in the list of
absolutely.
Okay. But then as an operator, like again, if I am the business that comes to you, is there something that my now payroll management becomes easier in some capacity, or bookkeeping has become easier in some ways? There a dashboard that I can see that automatically XYZ person has gotten some kind of disbursement and it's offsetting in my own books? Like, is it automated in some way for me?
Yes, absolutely. There's an entire admin portal in which whenever the employee transacts, you also have the employers also have this authority to either accept or reject, approve or reject their transaction, or whatever amount they've transacted, or whatever amount they've requested to transact it. So everything is with them. Any employee resigns in between, all the data, you have the authority to remove, add, subtract. It's all up to you, the employer.
Interesting. Very cool. Sweet. Yeah, it's quite thought out also.
Yeah.
But and naturally so, like you're working in the millions, so you naturally have to be thinking about that. But what is the next step? Like you mentioned that those that are unbanked right now unfortunately can't avail the services, and I'm sure there's something cooking in the background for this as well. I'm not going to ask you to share any of those details, but what is, because I understand that there's a big element of the financial wellness push also. You are building awareness from two sides, from the B2C side and from the B2B, and making that whole B2B2C chain complete. How are you guys actually pushing this idea of financial wellness, and through this also like wealth creation or savings in some way with people?
Okay, so we are a financial freedom platform. So we give you the freedom to access your salary or the amount that you've earned. And with that amount, we give you the power to actually avail discounts. For example, there was this use case that I'll share with you. So there's this person who used Abhi to actually buy the market dip in crypto. So that is how people can actually, access their amount, access their salary, and use that for investment purposes and saving purposes. it's a long-term plan, but we're also gonna incorporate, for example, saving products, etc. So the money that they get from Abhi, they can actually use it and leverage that money in ways that they can invest in opportunities or avail discounts in a way.
But that's a use case that's coming from someone who's done it.
Yeah.
Do you, from your side, push this information that, by the way, it's not just as an emergency, as a rainy day fund, it's also, like,
Yes,
growing and
yeah.
compounding and things of that nature.
If you've seen our recent DVC, the ad that we pushed out, so
the data scientist one?
Oh yes, you saw,
Yeah, I saw
it.
that.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
I'm a
The
big fan of the
discounts.
work you guys do, so I'm no shame.
yes. Imran की story we're continuing. So first, Imran was the emergency case. जब
Yeah.
उसका tire puncture हो गया था and he was getting late for office.
Yeah.
That's the first time he used Abhi. He came back office से थका आ रहा है and then BV started to complain कि यार मोइन साहब ने microwave दिया है discount पर. This is how we're trying to. So this was also again a perception people had there in mind कि it's just for emergency purposes. कि सिर्फ emergency होगी तो we can use Abhi. But now we're trying to shift that focus towards कि you can also avail discounts, you can also avail certain opportunities that अगर उस वक्त पैसे ना हो तो आप you'd rather let it go. So ये वाला aspect we're trying to incorporate in our communication as well now.
Interesting, very cool. So if when you talk about it like this, then it's like you're building the narrative slowly and steadily. And now I'm speaking purely from a branding and a marketing side. But internally, I want to know a little bit about how do you come up with these ideas and these campaigns, because there's a big element, and I often feel like brands in Pakistan don't end up contextualizing to the relevant demographic, right? To the relevant socioeconomic class they're trying to target as well. And that's not just Pakistan, that's brands around the world, right? You're aiming for the general comment and the general narrative, and that's what you want to push for. And right now, Abhi, in my opinion, seems like it's the middle class, upper middle class, SEC B type or SEC C plus that is going to be availing this. But then you also still have a huge chunk of people below that line that could avail, but they need to be spoken to differently. So I want to know a little bit about internally, what do you guys think, the whole team, how are you guys curating these behavior nudges and these messages and these communications accordingly? Like, are you going out and speaking to the customers at this point? Are you doing research exercises and user tests in different cities and different parts of the country? What's going on? How does it happen?
So it's primarily because a huge part of it is again internal, and we're trying to we're a very small team, by the way. We're just like four people in the marketing department, looking to expand, but everything's going on internally. So we, first of all, there's this whole idea generation process that goes on with how to plan the calendar for the next month, what's going on, what's going out, what's going in the market, how should we, what products in Abhi are coming out, so that we plan our communication accordingly. But generically and generally, we try to do as much market research as possible. कि what does, again, so middle class people are our main target audience, जो कि पहली से पहली तक paycheck to paycheck रहते हैं, and हर चीज़ में वो पहली का इंतज़ार करते हैं, because 100 मतलब very very they're often their salary gets finished before the pehli. तो उस वाले aspect को our push notifications start to go out more and more during the last days of the month कि कभी bill आ जाता है unexpectedly, बच्चों की स्कूल की फीस जानी है. So there are a lot of things that we keep in mind when we're doing it. And then again, market research also plays a great role. Okay, what type of content does our audience wants to see? How are the people reacting on Facebook posts, Instagram posts, LinkedIn posts? बिल्कुल अलग content जाता है उधर, because again we're targeting the C-level executives there, because we want their companies to get on board. But Facebook is completely different audience, and then Instagram is completely, so a lot of things are going on. But again, market research is a very important aspect that we take into role.
Are you guys using Snack?
No, we tried. I was the one who tried it, but we I don't know if I should say it or not, but we found like it was not that appealing. A lot of bots and a lot of fake views were coming, so I was like, let's
the results
just
were not
TikTok.
promising.
Absolutely,
that's
yes.
the right answer.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
All right, because I've been very curious to know.
But the interface is really nice. It's very sticky, so they give you points for just logging in.
The
just
ads are
to
just
videos.
so annoying. I've never downloaded it.
It's been really reduced recently.
Really?
Yeah, there's no
Because
Snack
TikTok's
video
open
ads.
now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. वो तो TikTok ban वाले scene था, that's why they started to push Snack. But Not really good.
No.
Not a good, not a platform that we'd use right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can explore maybe in future. But
Awesome.
TikTok is now our
Cool.
main game area now.
Cool. So I don't know if this would apply to you guys, but and please don't think that I'm trying to meddle into the business and trying to like get information out, insider secrets out. But is there an element that people could leverage Abhi not just for the salary, like the early waged? What was the term you used? Sorry.
Early wage access.
Early wage
EWA.
access, yeah. If not just for early wage access, but then also to use it as a quick microfinancing tool of some sorts, and not to say for like it could be for venture, it could be for a personal crisis that might happen at home as well. But because I also know I've seen this from your own testimonials as well, is that people are shy to go to a loan to a bank to ask for a loan. But if they have access to something like Abhi, has there been any kind of response back from the customer that if you could give us some kind of credit, it would be a lot easier for us as well? And we could then adjust that with the payroll because you're already connected to our payroll itself.
Yes, there have been talks about it. Again, I won't say a lot, but yeah, there have been requests as such as well. And the least I could say is we're working on it.
Okay, cool. And in the near future, is there any kind of what other types of products are there? Like, is there any kind of thing that's coming up for the unbanked?
A lot of things in the pipeline. So our 6 months and coming by the end of this year, a lot of other things and a variety of users that we're going to cater to. And yes, this is one of the things that we are already working on right now.
Okay, very cool. I'm sorry I'm asking a question that's not on the list, but I'm still very curious to understand a little bit about if you mentioned that you're trying to digitize, you're trying to make sure that you stay within the digital ecosystem as well, and trying to make sure that everything is legitimized and it's banked and it's all clear, right? So you have trails and everything, but one of the questions I have for you, and because you've worked so closely with Abhi from the get-go, how is the team currently functioning? Like, is it more technology heavy? Is it more design heavy? Is it more, ops heavy? What's it like right now?
The team is, I think both the aspects, the design and the technology, go side by side. So, for example, I'll give you an example. A car engine could be really good, but if the outlook is not good, you would never buy it.
Yeah.
Same goes. So it has to be both ways. That's why I feel like design is equally valued and technology with technology. And for a fun fact, our technology team, the tech team entirely sits in Lahore office. And all the departments are partially the ops team.
Yeah.
And all the other departments sits in Karachi office. So our tech team is usually in Lahore. But yeah, both of them play equal part in what Abhi is and how does it operate. And again, ops, a big part of it. Kuch bhi nahi hota agar ops na hota.
So but what are the functions like right now for you?
So it's product team, tech team, marketing team, and the operations team, sales team, and then there's a strategy team. We do have a finance department, but it's like for 2 people only. So not a proper. And then the head of HR also joined very recently only, like I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we're building a team. We're growing right now in a growth
and
stage.
How big is it in total?
I think 35 people, 30 to 40
including
people.
The team in Lahore?
Yeah, including
wow,
the team in Lahore.
that's cool. Yeah.
So when I joined, there were like 9 people only. So we 3 interns joined together, and we were I think there were not even 10 people in the office back then. So we used to have this. Our office was at the Hive in Clifton.
Yeah.
And we recently moved to our space in Shah Faisal.
Okay.
So now the team expanding, and we need a bigger space. That's why we moved. And when we were at the Hive, there were only 6 people there. Then we 3 joined. There were 9 people in total in the team. So very small team, and we all worked very closely. And the culture is amazing. The people are amazing. Very supportive indeed. And totally amazing.
Sweet. Very cool. Very cool. So what's the year ahead looking like? We're in March right now, about to end. What's the rest of 2022 looking like for Abhi?
It's big, definitely big, because we're launching for B2C.
Okay.
soon, inshallah, down the road, in which B2C is basically, agar aapka employer, even though if he or she, matlab the employer is not signed up with Abhi, you can still use Abhi. So if you, no matter what company you are, no matter what city you belong to, for example, you can still use Abhi, just following a simple steps. But that's down the road. We are gonna launch soon, inshallah.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
That's exciting.
Soon enough.
That's exciting. Okay. I'll be looking into that.
Yes.
I might call you guys in
definitely.
for another conversation.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Awesome. Great. But it sounds very exciting. And yeah, all in all, you guys are doing some really kick-ass work. Kudos to you and to the entire team. This was amazing. Thank you so much for taking out the time.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. Any last words you'd like to say? A lot of uni kids watch this as well. A lot of entry-level graduates watch this too. Any message for them?
I feel like the only thing that I'm going to say is just don't stop. No matter what failure, I would rather quote it that way, you face, or there's a setback that you go through, just don't stop. Just keep applying, keep trying your luck.
Yeah.
You will land up eventually in a place that you like and you love and you'll want to stay in forever. So yeah, that's it.
Great. All right. But thank you so much once again, Wajiha Majid from Abhi. Abhi is a financial wellness, financial empowerment tool. Is that the right way to call it?
Freedom.
Financial freedom tool. Do check it out and see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.